me thinking about how we have so much genuinely to be grateful for, and of the situation that I was in, and how to move past it, and how to be the best version of me that I could be. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Mand. So today I wanted to do the hashtag thankful tarot. So this is a VR to Crescent Dreams Tarot. I'll link their channel below, and the original video, I think this came out over a year ago at this stage, but I thought what a nice way to kind of, as we're coming towards the end of the month by the time this video is up, that wouldn't it be nice to have some gratitude on my tarot decks and things like that, because it got me thinking about how we have so much genuinely to be grateful for, and how lucky are we to have things in our lives to be grateful for. So I have many things that I am grateful or thankful for. I mean, not just materialistic, but also just the simplicity of being able to have a cup of coffee, have a coffee machine. It's great, you know, or to have a roof over my head, or a car that I can drive anywhere. You know, there's many different things, or a nice comfy bed that I can sleep in and wake up to, or wake up in in the morning. So how lucky am I to have the things that I have? So sometimes I know with social media we can get caught up in everybody with their hauls, or you know, the aesthetically pleasing lives that they live, and yet we seem to overlook the beautiful and magical, majestic life that we ourselves have, or we tend to focus more on what we don't have than the things that we do have. And I could do a whole video on talking about this, but I wanted to do this really fun VR. So grab your coziest drink. I love my mug. She's slightly battered at the bottom. Can you tell she's really loved? I was going to pick like a more aesthetically pleasing cup, and then I was like, no, this is one of my favorite cups. It's totally and utterly battered, and of course it says the Coffeeholic, and it looks like a little tarot card. So listen, beauty does not always mean perfection. So let's get into the talk. So question number 1 is, what about tarot and cartomancy in general are you thankful for? So I am really grateful for tarot because it has helped me step out of a comfort zone that I didn't realize I was so rooted in. It helped me tap into the intuitive abilities that I, for some reason, when I started my journey, believed I didn't have. I don't know where that belief came from. I never thought that, one, I would have this channel and be talking about tarot decks and things like that, because I never believed that I had, you know, that my opinion in one way mattered, or that I couldn't be part of this community because I felt like I didn't know enough, or that, you know, I suppose in the sense that tarot has really brought me back home to myself and to my intuition, and knowing that just because the cards are laid out and it says a certain message doesn't necessarily mean that is what's going to happen. It's how I interpret it, it's how I feel it. The card is more than just what the generic guidebook might say, or, you know, what the generalized meaning of a card. So it helps me see beyond what I'm already seeing, or see beyond maybe a situation that I cannot seem to think outside the box on, right? It helps me to expand my vision, I suppose you can say, or how I see things. It can help me change my perspective on certain situations that I might be going through. Again, I don't pull many cards when I'm going through a hard time. Normally I kind of actually do it after the fact so that I can tap into that emotion. But in the sense of cartomancy in general has really brought me back home to myself. I feel like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, and where I'm supposed to be focusing energy on, and how it is more me than I've ever felt. You know, I feel like I've finally come back to where I'm supposed to be at. Question number 2 is an old deck you're thankful for. So these don't really as such fall under the typical Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, but these would be kind of older decks. They're not the oldest decks I have in my collection, I don't think, but close enough. And they would be my Doreen Virtue decks, and it's the Angel Tarot cards and the Healing of the Angels. And these are decks that I'm super grateful for because they're kind of what helped me on my journey. When starting out on tarot, I was kind of, I wouldn't say scared of tarot, well I suppose maybe in one way, but I wasn't really what's the word I'm looking for, intrigued by tarot. So getting an Angel Tarot deck seemed kind of more sensible, more reasonable. I can't think of the word, oh my gosh. So I know that this isn't a traditional tarot deck. I think this one is still in print. I don't think this one is in print anymore. I believe a lot of Doreen Virtue decks were pulled off the market, which I know maybe for some people that are watching this that might like this deck is a bummer, so I'm really sorry. Maybe you can find it on the likes of Marketplace or eBay or something like that. Do be careful of fakes though. So these are the backs. I think I've shown this deck before. It is glossy. It is that kind of old Hay House. Can you see how well loved this is? But this is a deck I am grateful for because it helped me on my journey when I was starting. And I don't read with this deck anymore. I might do like collective messages every now and again, but for the most part I don't actually reach for this deck. I'm looking at the artwork and I'm already like, why don't I? But anyway, I just love this deck. I love the guidebook. I love the messages I always received from it. I mean, the artwork is it's a bit on the quirky side. I'm not even gonna lie. It's definitely very different to what's out there now, but I love it immensely. I kind of like the whole unicorn and dragons, and because I'm rereading Fort Wing at the moment, so this is a lovely deck. I mean, the dragons do not look like that, I can tell you that much, but this is one that I'm super grateful for. It is the reason that I got very much into tarot, or it helped propel me on my journey. And also another deck I wanted to include, because I feel like, because I started my journey with tarot as such, actually starting with Oracle, and I do believe I mentioned that in a video. I'll try and link it below. I can't remember what video it was, but I started off with Oracle cards or angel cards, I suppose. And this deck helped me through a very difficult period in my life that I don't really talk about a whole pile. I don't think I've ever mentioned on my Instagram either, but it's definitely a growing period in my life. So this kind of helped me see beyond, again, what I was seeing and what I was feeling. It helped me connect more to being in that state of feeling more so than acting and doing. So I really got to get the sense of the situation that I was in and how to move past it and how to be the best version of me that I could be. Question number 3 is a new deck that you are thankful for. And so my newest deck, I kind of just went with my newest deck in my collection, and that is the Mythologia Finica Tarot. Jeez, that's a mouthful. And I literally only just showed this a couple of videos back. But I am thankful for this because it's not a deck that I would actually have picked up, because I normally buy my decks online because it's the easiest way for me to get decks and whatnot. But I explained this in the video, but I was in a little holistic shop and this deck kept drawing me back in. And I know, poor me, I don't have a Rockpool Publishing tarot deck. I have a good few of their Oracle deck, but I didn't have any tarot deck by them. So this kind of kept drawing me back. It kind of reminded me of Vikings, that Norse mythology. Obviously, I haven't read the book or anything like this. Like I said, it's new to my collection, so I haven't had the pleasure of connecting with it yet. But I'm thankful for this because One, this is totally out of my comfort zone, okay? This is not something that I would typically choose for myself. I'll show you some of the cards. I love the backs on these as well. I feel like they're just so pretty, so simplistic. I don't always want an overcomplicated back, but I enjoy them all the same. But I love the simplicity of this. I know a lot of people, reversals are important, so you can read this reversed. But I like this because it's not one that I would have typically chosen for myself or gone after. It is definitely outside of my comfort zone. The artwork is even a little bit different than what I would normally go for. I don't necessarily go for what I feel like wouldn't be really something that I myself have any connection to, but I just kept getting drawn back to it. So I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna take a chance and I'll step out of my comfort zone. So I'm curious to see where this deck takes me. While I can't pronounce many of the words, I am very eager to actually learn more about this, and I love the art style. While it's again not one that I would typically go for, it is one that I'm very interested in all the same. Here we are again with the dragons. There's a lot of, is this the year of the dragon? No, it's not. It's the year of the snake. It's not. Anyway, you can correct me below, but I really like this. It's so different. It's so different. It's so unique. It's really, really pretty. It has a lot of, obviously, myths and legends from Finland. So I'm interested in that because, as you know, I'm from Ireland. So, and I'm aware that sometimes I might talk a little bit different on my videos, but only because I want you guys to actually understand me, and it's not that I'm trying to get rid of my Irishness either, but I do realize that sometimes I might actually dampen down my accent so that you can understand what I'm trying to say, or I pronunciate things a little bit more, only for the sake of being understood, because I know sometimes us Irish, we can talk really, really fast, especially when we get very enthusiastic, and so what happens then is our words start to blend together. So I'm curious to see how the myths and folklore line up with the Irish myths and folklore as well. So I'm thankful for this because, one, that I was able to get this and I was able to support a small business, and yeah, so it's quite special actually. Question number 4 is a deck back that feels like a blessing because it's so good. And so I actually picked 2 because I couldn't just pick one, and they're both by the same creator, and it is MJ Cullinan's The Guardian of the Night and The Enchanted for Hoxa. You can nearly see a theme with the decks that I picked by colour scheme, actually. It's funny. But this is the Guardian of the Night Tarot back, and this is The Enchanted for Hoxa. And I love the similarities, and yet they're not the same at all. How can that be? I don't know. But I really love the kind of green feel to this, the leaves, oh, my dog is dreaming. I thought I could hear him barking. But he's okay, you guys. He's just, I think he's chasing something in his dreams. But I love the kind of earthy groundedness with this, and I also love the pops of pink, and I love the moon because I love working with the moon and learning all about the moon phases and the signs they're in. And bees are something that I've currently, in the last less than a year, kind of gotten into from having gotten the bee tarot. So I feel like these kind of weird me out a little, but I'm also thankful because, again, it's pushing me out of a comfort zone that I didn't realize I was in. Just to show you the cards, so this is Guardian of the Night, and this is The Enchanted for Hoxa. They're beautiful. I love MJ's decks and her artwork. It's stunning. It's really, really nice. But these are the 2 backs that I would be grateful or thankful for because they're just gorgeous. But I have many decks, I'll be honest, that have like beautiful backs that it's really hard to pick just one. I even had trouble just picking 2. So question number 5 is a specific deck you're thankful for. And of course, I was always going to include this one, is the Green Witch Tarot. I think I've mentioned this so many times. I'll try and put it here so you guys can see what deck it is, in case I forget to link it in the description box. But I adore this. Okay, so the backs are gorgeous, so that could be included in the backs that I'm thankful for. But I am so thankful for this deck because it is a deck, right, that I put off getting for a very long time. It's a Llewellyn deck as well, just in case you're new and you haven't seen me show this. Trust me, people who've been here for a long time will know how much I love this deck. This is one of my favorite. This is my coming home deck. This is a deck that I hold even, oh my gosh, this is so silly, I'm actually getting emotional just looking at this deck now. I promise this doesn't always happen, but this is just a deck that I am so extremely thankful for, because it was a deck that I was so particularly slow on actually getting. I don't know why. And eventually I kind of just bit the bullet. It was kind of that time where we were all buying decks. The year we will not mention, because let's not ever repeat that, but there was just like an influx of buying of decks and deck hauls, and just, I think that's when my deck collection kind of blew up. But I remember picking this up for like a pretty decent price. I can't remember specifically where I got. I don't think it was in Book Depository, because that was gone at that stage, I think. But this is just my deck that helps me connect back to myself, or if I'm not sure what deck I want to work with, I will pick this deck out. Or if I'm feeling a bit lost, or if I'm feeling happy, or if I'm feeling sad, or any of the emotions, this deck helps me connect into all of them. It helps. It's a very personal deck. It's not one that I use for anybody else. I don't mind showing it here on my YouTube, but I don't use this for readings. So I might have specific tarot decks for readings for others that I don't mind using, but for the most part, this is a deck that is solely for me and me only. I will not use it for readings for anybody else, because this is my personal deck. This is a deck that I am connected to, and I'm greedy. It is solely for me. I will share it here, but I don't want to read for others with this deck, because again, it's one that works for me and that I love very, very much, and I'm very thankful for it, because it is a deck that took me some time to come out of my comfort zone and buy. But I did, and I love it. I love this donkey card. Well, this Page of Wands, but I love this donkey. I just love donkeys. So yeah, that is the Green Witch Tarot. So the next prompt is a guidebook or cartomancy book you're thankful for because it enriched your practice. And I actually have 2. So of course I wanted to include the Green Witch Tarot Companion, because I've talked about this a few times, but the information in this guidebook, if I could get it, is phenomenal. So this is the majors. So you have the Oak King, and then you have a whole description. I mean, there was no skipping here. And then you also have like your meaning, your reverse, and your prompt words. But also what I love is that they touch upon certain symbols within. So let me go to the minors here. So we have the Ace of Athames. So you have the description of the card and the meaning, but then you also have like dandelions. So you also have the herbs included. And then your meanings and your reversed and your prompt words. I really love this, because this just helps me broaden how I interpret reading. So I'll read intuitively and then read the guidebook, or I might read the guidebook and then see what intuitive messages come up. But I feel like this is kind of an underrated guidebook, because there's a lot of information that I feel like would be beneficial as well. And of course, along that lines is the Wildwood Tarot. So this is one that I got only last year, I think. So I'm still kind of making my way slowly through this deck. Sorry about the light. And I'm excited to work with this soon. But oh my gosh, the information in this is phenomenal. So I've noticed that even though I'm a water sign, so for those of you that don't know, I'm very much a Pisces, and my chart is a lot of water and air. But the decks that I crave the most are actually kind of the earth element, which is probably actually makes sense because it helps keep me grounded, because I can get lost in them very celestial and out there decks, you know, that kind of way that connect more with water and air signs. But I really love this because you have the position of where it is on the wheel of the year. You also have the description. So the description of the card, you also have the meaning of the card, and then reading points, so you can go so in depth. And then you also have roots and branches, so things that you can kind of go off on. So I really like how thought-provoking this deck is, and how it helps broaden, again, your knowledge. And I love the way there's just a lot of thought gone into this guidebook, and I do appreciate a very thoughtful and informative guidebook. So a spread that I'm thankful for is, so I don't actually have a specific spread that I'm thankful for. So what I would say is I am thankful for any tarot challenges that are out there that I can partake in. I kind of like a 1 card daily draw, so that would be one of those things that I'm grateful that I have the time to do, so that I can draw a card and journal on it and things like that. So that's kind of how I do it. I don't do big readings that often because sometimes I feel like I can get too caught up in the interpretation of the cards or what it might be saying. So I like my 1 card check-ins and things like that. So moving on to the last question is a person or multiple that you're thankful for being a part of the tarot community. And oh my gosh, I have so many, and I don't even know where to begin. I am super thankful for Han over at Simply Han. I'll make sure to tag all the channels that I've mentioned here. I just love watching her videos and I love hearing her talk because she's like the most relaxing voice ever. And just the fact that we've become friends over TarotTube and things like that. So that is so extremely cool. That's like, oh my gosh, amazing. I also love AstariaSen. Her channel is amazing. I just currently watched her new one on her homestead, and she's goats and cats, and it's just, oh my gosh, I love that. But she talks very much about the fae and her interest in that and her decks and how she connects with them, and I love that. That is so cool, and especially from somebody that comes from Ireland that's very like fae superstitious. It's really cool to see how other people connect with them. Who else am I thankful for? I'm also thankful for Imogen Walters, even though I know she's not on YouTube anymore, but it's because of her that I got into watching TarotTube. And I think the likes of Lisa Pepez and Don Michelle and Danny Mystic, and I'm probably, Katey Flowers is another one, so I'm thankful for all of them. I'll tag whoever's channel I can below, but I know Imogen's not on YouTube anymore, which makes me really sad because I loved her videos so much, and her videos aren't there anymore, and I used to watch them for comfort. But anyway, and I was actually taking a sip of coffee. Who else? I feel like I'm missing a lot of people here. Like Angel over Feeding My Soul. I love her channel as well. She does all like the art magic-y side of things as well. So that's really cool. And I love the way she talks about decks and how she paints some of the tarot cards that she has. And I should really do a video on all the people that I watch and who I love. But my editing skills aren't the best, so I don't know how you put the screenshot of their channel on here, so I must learn that. I'm a creature of habit, there's no denying that. But there's so many that genuinely, just anybody that I connect with in my comments and those that watch and you interact, like, I'm grateful for all of it. You know, it's not just the channels that I watch or, you know, the people on Instagram that I connect with, but it's also you, the viewer, that I connect with in the comments, those that are leaving your thoughts and your opinions and just getting to know each other and gushing over the same interests. It's so cool to be part of something that there's a universal love for. So even though our tastes may differ in decks, there's that just love of it, you know. So it's really cool to be a part of something like that. So thank you so much again for watching, and I do suggest go over to Crescent Moon, I have Crescent Moon in my head now, Crescent Dreams Tarot channel, and check out her video And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next video.